Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first video that I've ever been aware of that actually explains how to not suck ass at nights. And the reason why most people suck ass is they don't understand what does and doesn't give them a better score and what they're actually supposed to do. In fact, what really made me want to make this video was I watched a GameSack video where Joe describes this game as you just try to make it through the level as fast as you can and collect shit along the way. And then he even mentioned something like, I never really got it, I don't understand, like I never got into this. That's exactly why, is because that is the opposite of what you want to do, even though the game sort of, most people's logic would tell them, yeah, as soon as I've accomplished, gotten all the 20 blue balls, obviously I want to get to the altar so that I can go on to the next level as quick as I can. But that's where it's all wrong. Once you get the 20 blue balls in the thing, that's when bonus round starts, which means, and it gives you like 2 minutes of extra time to get as many points as you can, because in the special round all of your points are doubled. That's where you get your score. But most people just they return back to the center altar because I admit it does seem like that's what you should do, but you're actually supposed to fly over it so that you can keep looping around the level. You want to take it down as close to the last second as possible, and then that's how you get scores like you're seeing right here, 213,000. You've probably gotten nowhere near that because you didn't know anything that I'm about to explain to you. So with that said, let's go ahead and get going. I'm going to use Spring Valley, which is Claire's first level, as the example because for one, it's the easiest level. For two, you can actually link every object on the course in one giant link, which you can actually do that on other levels too, but it's a little bit more difficult. So first, what I'm going to show you is the quickest way to get 20 balls on your feet before you turn into knights, which, by the way, yeah, you want to do that before you turn into knights. That way, first of all, you're racking up extra points. Second of all, you get the maximum amount of time for bonus rounds. So once you do that, come back up here, which, if you recall, this is the way we were facing originally. So you go this way, and then you want to get these three right here. And as you probably just noticed, there's a whole fuckload of balls right here, and so you got to do the the hyper super fucky jump in order to get them. Sometimes it takes two, but even if you miss a couple, that's the beauty of this route, is it doesn't matter because you're going to get enough either way. So you hit those three, already at 16, and then you come over here, and here's the second treasure trove, which once again you have to hyper fuck your way up there, and then boom, once you have 20, you see it turns red, that means you're good, and then you can go back. Now, here's another thing most people don't know, is that you can actually knock this mother clock fucker out. You just jump on him, bam, see, he's done, temporarily. So there's another thing most people don't know, you can kill that thing. Also, along the way, if you see any sort of Nighttopian eggs, make sure to hatch those if you're into the whole AI life system thing. So first thing you want to do is, now that you have the 20, knock those two guys out. That's important because they can fuck up your line. And then now we have bonus time. See, here's where most people fuck up. They think, oh, let's go in. Nope, you go around and you keep going. So here's the link. You circle all of those, you hit those, you hit those, you hit those, and if you do it all properly, like I just did first try, like a professional stallion, you will get 25 link, and you just keep doing it over and over. Oh, see, I missed one. Yeah, fuck that one up. But that's the link right there. And another thing worth noting is this is heavily dependent on how you do your paraloop. Basically, okay, you want to do the whole loop first before you touch anything in the loop, because it gives you that way it takes longer for the points to register, which gives you the more time to reach the next set of balls or rings. So for example, if you do this, you hit a couple of them and then you hit a couple more, see how that just I didn't have enough time to make it here. So that's why the paraloop technique is really important, which once again, this is impossible on the PlayStation version because you don't have the analog accuracy that you do with the Saturn version. And full disclosure, I am using an emulator, like I think I mentioned. So there's two ways you can do this. You can get in a USB adapter and actually buy the Saturn 3D pad and use that, or the next best option, which isn't quite as, it's almost as good, but not really, is get a USB N64 controller. And I'm not going to bother with the rest of the level because you get it, but get a USB N64 controller, set L to the button Z, then R to R, so that way you can use the analog stick, because the analog stick is very good for this game, all like 95% just as good as the Saturn controller. So with that said, that's pretty much all there is to it. Just to recap, you want to get the blue balls first, turn them in, but then don't go around the altar and keep going for the amount of time that it gives you. That's how you get the good scores. And by the way, just for real hardcore geeks, I actually do have a King Topian, or whatever you call him. It took me forever to get them to hatch and to make that happen. He's around here somewhere. Be easier to find if I was still walking. But anyway, yep, that is possible too, by the way. It just takes, probably years of playing. And then, like I just did, launching those balls directly into one of the NiGHTS, which that was actually kind of close. Yeah, it is possible. I've done it. I even did it on that's the cool thing about the PlayStation version, is that they let you know how many of what you have. This version, you just have to, you have to know what you have by yourself. See, like right there's an egg I would hatch, but I can't because I'm in Knight's mode. So that's another thing you want to do if you care about the whole artificial life system. You have to do all that on foot. So anyway, with that said, I hope I finally explained to the world how to actually play this game. I can only imagine how many people got this, because like I said, oh, and here's another good point, is most people assume that if what happens right there, you get hit by the clock and you get fucked, they think you're done. The only thing you can do is go back to the altar and get an F. That's not true. If you actually do want to save your score, you can keep running around and you can collect up to 99 blue balls, and then along the way hit rings like that. If you do it, I've actually gotten it to a D. Not an E, not an F. I've actually gotten it to a D by doing that before, which will save your score dramatically instead of getting an F. I might have even gotten a C once. I'm not sure about that. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it. There's no other information that you need to, you have no excuse to not be good at this game now. It's just a matter of, getting good at the analog controls, figuring out the timing of the pair loop that maximizes the time between that one and the next link. And, but yeah, the main thing is, don't go straight to the altar as soon as you turn the 20 blue balls. That's why you're sucking. You have to go around it and keep, getting double points for the whole bonus round. Use every second of it that you can, which that can be tricky. Sometimes you think you might have enough time for one more lap, but then you don't, and then you get turned into this, and then your best chance is getting a D and all that stuff. But anyway, thanks for checking this out. I'm surprised nobody has taken the time to explain this yet, so I felt the need to do it. So with that said, I am out of here. Cheers, folks. Hey guys, so I just wanted to touch up on a couple of things that some people might have been confused about with what you just saw. First of all, I there was a couple of times in the video where I said, like I said before, and then followed it with something. The reason why that happened is because I did a previous take where I did mention those things that I was referencing, but those two parts didn't make it in the video, so I sound like a dumbass referencing something that didn't happen in the video. One of which, the most important one that I do want to emphasize is if you get this on the PlayStation Network and you're using a PS3 controller, I'm not sure if it's available on PS4. If it is, there's a good chance that controller might handle a little better. But, you know, I just know that there's so many people that downloaded NiGHTS on the PlayStation 3, the official PlayStation 3 controller, and they couldn't pull shit off because I don't know how it even got released that way, but the accuracy of the analog stick, the way it was programmed, it makes it impossible to pull off links, to time your pair loops. I mean, you might as well not even play the game. And I feel, I think that just sucks because a lot of people never played it back in the Saturn days, and so but they've heard all about it, so they bought on PS3. Like, all right, this is probably going to be even better than the original. Let's do it. But it turns out it's actually, if you actually want to do good in the game and get like straight A's so that you unlock the other levels, it's nearly impossible to do it on the PS3 controller. In fact, let's put it this way: if you took the best NiGHTS player in the world, and you cloned them, and you had them do the same level, one was using a Saturn controller, or even a USB N64 controller, like I mentioned I was using in the video, and had his other clone use a PS3 controller, same skill level, same knowledge, everything. The one with with the Saturn or N64 controller would so heavily outscore the guy with the PS3 controller. That's how fucking shit fuck it is. I'm sorry that. Well, I'm not sorry. Sony should be sorry that they actually put a broken version of NiGHTS out. Is basically what you got. That's the main point I wanted to make. Also, for those of you curious, here's the most interesting fact about this whole video is that this is an emulator running on Mac. That's right. Those words just came out of my mouth and I meant them. If you're interested in that, there is an emulator suite called OpenEMU. It's only on Mac, which is ironic because forever emulation was basically only properly done on PCs, and Mac users were just fucked until a couple of years ago. OpenEMU came out, and especially if you get it now, there's like 30 different emulators on there. Everything from the Ataris, the Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo, Saturn, PlayStation. That's right, I said Saturn, and of course, obviously, that's what I was using. And as you saw, it ran. I have with none of the consoles other than N64. Sometimes that one crashes, but this is the first perfect Saturn emulator ever. Even Yaboosh on PC hasn't figured. Whoever Mednafin, that's right, that's the name of them. Those guys made a perfect emulator, and that might be on PC, but the only way you get on Mac is through OpenEMU, and it's just amazing. I almost have the whole US Saturn library on my hard drive, and I have never even encountered a single glitch. Not graphically, not audio related. It's perfect, and plus I actually have, I've got an actual Sega Saturn controller that I use through my adapter here, which plugs right USB in your computer. And so you're literally, I mean, even multiple disc games like Panzer Dragoon Saga, uh, no problem whatsoever. Shining Force 3, I've got the translated versions, and you're able to transfer your saves. And it's just, it's the most amazing. It's the only way to experience the Saturn without, especially Panzer Dragoon Saga. Go on eBay right now. I guarantee you the cheapest price you'll find it is like $400. Yeah, and plus they lost the source code, so that game's never coming out again. So the only way to play it is to get an emulator like OpenEMU and just get yourself a Saturn controller just to make it as as OG as possible. And yeah, I can't recommend that enough. In fact, I would not have been able to do this video if it wasn't for OpenEMU. So, holy fuck, congratulations, OpenEMU. They are light years ahead of any sort of emulator suite or any emulator in particular on any computer system whatsoever. They just, I don't know who these guys are, but man, you guys really figured it out. And, now you can enjoy all these great Saturn games that nobody ever played in America because most people in America didn't know that the Saturn even existed. But there are some great games, and this is one of them. I mean, this is more common, but definitely check out Panzer Dragoon Saga, Burning Rangers, Shining Force 3, and if you go online, you can find. I know EMU Paradise is shut down, but there's some other guys coming out. They're taking this opportunity to be the next Open EMU, I guess you could say. So there, you still can get ROMs. Of course, you should do it legally. You should already own the game, right? And then there's no reason to not make a backup of it. So there you go. I'm sure you all know what I mean. And with that said, that's basically all I have to say. And and by the way, if anybody like if you still have questions and you haven't understood this, uh, the tutorial that you just saw, if there's any questions, feel free to message me or just comment. Actually, that's probably easier. Just comment in the comment section, and I will try to respond to you. But I feel like I did a pretty fucking good job of explaining that. So you shouldn't, like I said, it's just a matter of you just gotta master the timing of the paraloop. Anyway, so with that said, if any of you actually are still listening to me at this point, thank you for tuning in.